Good morning, friends. It is 6 a.m. on Friday, and it is the first incredibly cold morning. So I decided to brew the coffee and bring it into bed to snuggle with Winston, and we're gonna read a little bit. I hope you all are doing really well. Thank you so much for being here. It's just one of those mornings. It's finally that time where you just really don't even want to get out of bed because it's so cold. So we're just gonna take advantage of it and just lay in bed for a while. It's still dark out. We're gonna wait for it to get a little warmer and or a little lighter outside. So today is actually my partner's birthday, and we did presents last night and cake, and it was really, really lovely. I got him this lava lamp. It's just been a really lovely past few days of working and hanging out with friends and family. This weekend is going to be a lot of celebrating my partner for his birthday. We have dinner with his family tonight. That is what's going on at the moment. I have a pretty busy weekend ahead of me with some travel for work. I have 3 photo sessions, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So I'm actually going to be traveling quite a bit this weekend. And I might make it a little bit of a fun travel trip as well, because there's one photo session I have to drive all the way up north for. So I thought I'd go a little bit early and check out some used bookstores potentially, if they're open. So yeah, that's what you can kind of expect from this vlog. A little bit of work, a little bit of relaxation, a little bit of celebrating my partner, and of course we're going to be reading The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. So I did not film an October TBR this month. I know, I feel like that would have been a really great video to film, but I really did not have a lot of time to do any filming the past few weeks, so I just decided to do my TBR jar on my own and pick spooky books that worked with the prompts. So we're gonna start with The Turn of the Screw. I am currently on chapter 4, page 20. This edition is very interesting because it is very indie. I found it used at Goodwill and like the text is just so small. And I just really struggle with small text. I lose my place really easily. I have a hard time focusing, especially if it is written in this like older, more flowery language. It was originally published in 1898. I'm really enjoying this. And this is like a classic, you know, Victorian horror story, but I have never read it. I'm super excited. It's my first Henry James as well. And we open up the book with this party, and this man is telling this story. It's Christmas Eve, telling a horror story. He's like, I know that this happened, like this ghost story is real because somebody left me a letter chronicling what happened with these like ghostly terrifying encounters. So he begins to like tell the story and reading from the letters that this woman left, and it's her arriving at this place called Bly, and she is going to be the nanny of 2 small children. They are Flora and Miles, and already there are just some like very oddly ominous things happening. Miles gets discharged from school for potentially being violent towards another student, and our female protagonist is not allowed to talk to the man who actually has custody of these kids, which is their uncle. So she is not allowed to contact him at all, and so she is just 100% in charge of these kids, not allowed to bother the uncle. There is one other woman on the property who is like I believe she's the cook, the maid, something like that, and we're just gonna see what happens. Things start to get a little creepier, a little freakier. Sorry for the camera shift. My alarm started going off. It scared the crap out of me, but I have seen The Haunting of Bly Manor. So this is very similar. It takes place on Bly. I think the kids' names are the same. It follows a nanny, but this obviously takes place longer ago. So I'm really enjoying it so far. It's just taking me a while just to even get 20 pages in. I've only been really reading at night, so I want to curl up here with my little sleepy guy, drink my coffee, and read some of this before starting a day. It'll be another weird, like just editing, working, odd jobs, emails, editing, reading, relaxing, and then dinner out with my partner. So that's kind of what today's gonna be, but I hope you all are doing really well. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to dip more into spooky season and read some spooky books. I'm very excited for this one, so I'll check in with you all a little bit later. Hey friends, it is now Saturday afternoon. I did not get to vlog a whole lot since starting and chatting with you all, but I am now on chapter 15, page 68 of The Turn of the Screw. I'm going through this a lot quicker than I anticipated, which is fantastic because I really thought this would take me a while because of like the writing style, but then also like how small the text is. But once it started getting creepy, it got creepy, and now I'm just like flying through it and I'm really enjoying it. Basically, there are some like ghostly apparitions happening. We still don't know the name of our main character. I don't know if that's information we'll ever get. She's the nanny or the one in charge of these children, and just some very odd things are happening. There are definitely sentences in this that are so long-winded and use very grandiose vocabulary and words where I'm just like, I have no idea what this author's intentions are, and I'm like, what are they even trying to say? I still can get the eeriness and the feeling and the atmosphere. It's just really good. I don't really know who to trust right now. Like, do we trust our main character? Are these things really happening? Because she also believes that the children she's looking after can see and know a little bit more than they lead on about these like ghostly apparitions. So I'm really enjoying it. There are only 105 pages in this, or 106 pages in this copy. So I really don't have much to go, about like 40 or something more pages. So definitely hoping I can read more of this. Really enjoying the turn of the screw. I'm super excited to keep reading this. Most likely tonight when I get home, and then maybe a little bit tomorrow. We shall see. But that's it, my friends. Not a big update to share. I'm just really enjoying it, and I feel like I have to check in because now I'm over halfway. But I don't really know what to say. It's just really good, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's about it. Doesn't feel like a big enough update, but anyway. But yeah, I will check in with you all a little bit later. I'm going to the beach today for my photo shoot, so I gotta have a nice drive. I'm gonna try and find a good spooky audiobook to hopefully keep me entertained. For my drives, I would love to get back into listening to audiobooks instead of podcasts or watching shows while I'm working. Hopefully I can find a good one today for the drive and all the traveling I have this weekend. But that is about it, my friends. I will have to check in with you all a little bit later. Hello, friends. It has been a few days since I've updated you all. It's been a very busy and odd few days, mainly just because of how much work I've had. I've been having really weird long mornings and afternoons, and then I work at, 6 or 7 p.m. for photo sessions, and I have to travel for them. So it's like this weird lingering daytime where like I don't quite feel in the reading mood. I don't really know what to do to pass the time. Work has been hard to do before I work, like editing and stuff, so I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I haven't really been vlogging a whole lot, but I have been traveling to some really wonderful places lately for photo sessions. They've been going really well. And then today I'm traveling for with stops for gas and food and whatever, for about 5 hours today for a half-hour photo session. So it's a lot of driving today for a work event that's only going to be half an hour, but I'm really grateful for that today because it's Monday, it's a beautiful fall day, and I want to make most of my road trip by stopping at some bookstores and just seeing what's there. I don't need anything, but I just want to make the trip a little worthwhile. I have been listening to an audiobook that I'll be listening to for this entire journey, which I'm very excited for. I really have been avoiding talking about audiobooks in vlogs because I've been DNFing so many of them. Like, I will get almost 50% of the way through an audiobook and be like, I don't care. I don't want to listen to this. I want to feel compelled to listen to an audiobook where I'm like randomly doing tasks around the house to keep listening to them, and I have not really had much of a good experience. So the audiobook I'm currently listening to, I'm just over 2 hours in. I think I still have about 7 more hours to go. So hopefully I can get pretty far in it today and just make this travel day fun for myself. So I did some research. I'm going to Traverse City today in Michigan. So it's almost exactly like a 2-hour drive, and I found a Goodwill nearby. I just love looking at used stuff in general, and sometimes it's really hard to find in smaller towns or cities a locally owned used store, and then all the independent bookstores in that area are closed on Mondays, which makes sense. But then I also found this, it's apparently a national chain, or it says it's like a nationwide chain. I have never heard of it before, called Books A Million. And on their storefront just says BAM. I have never heard of it. It looks like it's a smaller version of like Barnes and Noble maybe, but never heard of it. I've never been inside a Books A Million, so we're gonna go explore that today as well. And I'm really excited. So get cozy, we're gonna road trip, we're gonna work a little bit, and then we're gonna go peruse some bookstores and see what we can find. I would love to take home some used books. If this Books A Million place definitely looks like it sells brand new books, but if they have like a discount section like they do at Barnes and Noble, I'm gonna be there and hopefully we can find something cool. So just trying to treat myself a little bit today with like the very long drive. Anyway, very rambly update done with. I finished reading The Turn of the Screw this morning. I finished it. My copy is super warped now just from reading it. These covers, they're like super matte and like very thin, so like it makes sense why I got this warped from just touching it a bunch. But I finished it this morning. I don't really know how I feel at all. While I definitely got the heebie-jeebies and the goosebumps while reading this book, especially at night or early in the morning when it was still dark out, like I was really enjoying this Victorian Gothic atmospheric story. I had no idea where it was gonna go. I feel like so many interpretations and reiterations of this plot have been made, so I've only ever seen different adaptations of it. And I did find it intriguing, and I did enjoy my time reading it. It was very pleasurable to read, and I really did have a good time. But I didn't really get a whole lot out of it, but while reading it, I really enjoyed it. So to me, typically that's like a 3-star, where it's like, while in the moment of reading it, I'm having a good time, but it doesn't linger with me. As soon as it ended, I didn't really think about it. I was just kind of like, okay, I'm done. I finished it. And I wish I had more of an impact with it, but unfortunately I really didn't. I'm really happy I read it. It was very easy to read, got me back on track with reading books at a quicker pace, reading smaller books, feeling inspired to read spooky things again. And this book definitely hits one of my like big fears in horror movies and horror books, or just in general, is like creepy children. This book, and Henry James does such a wonderful job of making these children terrifying, even though outright they're not doing or saying anything particularly hurtful or harmful or horrifying, but they scare me. And I think it's the interpretation that our main character, whose perspective we're reading from, is perceiving these children as having like a malicious intent. And that's what made it creepy, is because like I felt like I was reading between the lines and able to visualize so clearly like how creepy these children are. Like they're not doing anything though. And that's what I think was the most interesting thing about this book, was it was so focused on interpretation and perception and not really getting the full story, not really knowing who to believe, and how easily our reality can be skewed by what we believe ourselves. So were the ghostly apparitions real? Was anything real? Did we trust any of these people? Did we trust any of these characters? And it's a very limited cast, it's our main protagonist, and then it is Mrs. Gross. She's like a servant or a maid, and she befriends our protagonist, and then there's the two children, Flora and Miles. That's it, really, besides these like ghostly apparitions. And with that limited cast, it really, really felt like I didn't know who to trust. I didn't feel like I trusted anybody, which I think is a job well done if that's the intention of the author, to make their audience question reality and what is real. I think that did a really, really good job, but it still just didn't linger with me. In talking about this book, I can definitely sing its praises, but I really doubt I'll be thinking about this book, or I'll be like going along my daily life and this book will pop into my brain. I kind of doubt it, unless it's in a spooky, ghostly kind of way. So overall, I think this is like 3 stars for me. Not gonna linger with it, but I'm definitely keeping this copy. I just think it's so, so stunning. I really had a fun time reading it. That's about it. So there's that. So with me today, while I travel and hopefully find a cool place to get a coffee, I'm gonna bring along Hollow by B. Catling. Another gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Put my bookmark in here, but I have not yet started it. This is a super dark, surrealist, abstract, almost like fable or myth. It reads, after the sudden death of the High Church's sacred oracle, the world spirals deeper into bedlam. Evil forces envelop the countryside, the line between life and the afterlife begins to blur, and a series of strange mysteries unfolds. A young monk has ecstatic visions and loses his ability to speak. An underground revolution is sparked in a small village with a woman called Dull Gret at the helm, and Barry Follett, a mercenary, leads his gang of marauders across a treacherous terrain filled with giants and dangerous sirens to deliver the one thing that can restore order to the divine landscape. As reality bends, a series of brutal adventures illuminates the nature of fate, beauty, and doom alike. As reality bends, a series of brutal adventures illuminates the nature of fate, beauty, and doom alike. Rich with action and fantastic creatures. I think someone's mowing their lawn. Where is this person? What? Why? Are they like chopping a tree? It is so loud. Okay, bear with me, my friends. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go quick. Rich with action and fantastic creatures, Hollow ushers the reader through a world where holy secrets are unearthed, art mirrors life, and death looms over everything. This is a book that I picked up last year and have not gotten to, but I've been wanting to read it specifically in fall and winter. I'm gonna start this. I'm really, really excited. I absolutely love the text used as well for the chapters. I have no idea what to expect. I just feel like it's going to be really dark and eerie and weird. Maybe similar to Crystal Eaters by Shane Jones, where it's like this fable, but it's just super dirty and gross and like bizarre. You don't really know what's happening, but it has a very big overarching theme or metaphor. That's my update, my friends. We finished Turn of the Screw, and now we're gonna start Hollow. Very excited, very autumnal, cool looking books. So let's gear up and head on a 2-hour road trip. Hope you all are doing really well. Hello friends. I'm back home. It is now Tuesday and it's been a super duper busy day catching up on all the fun emails that came in while I was out, client meetings, phone calls, appointments, all that stuff. So it's been a really good but productive busy day. I have wonderful updates to share before closing off this vlog, including a mini little thrift haul. Because do I have any other personality besides thrifting? Has this channel strictly become a thrift haul channel? Maybe. I don't know. That's okay because everything I found was so cheap and so good and it was so much fun. First off, yesterday's journey and travel took all day. I didn't get home until 9 p.m. but it was so freaking beautiful, my friends. Like, I really wish, it's such a cliche, but I really wish my eyes had cameras because the drive there was so stunning. Like, everything was red and golden and yellow and orange and just so many forests and fields. And I would like get to the top of this giant hill while driving and then it looked like a fake background. Like, it literally looked like a stock photo. It was so stunning. Had an amazing photo session out on this like tiny private lake. It was so cool. And then I drove around and I actually ended up finding a thrift store that was local, just on the side of the road. I did not find it when I was looking for thrifted places or used places on my travels. So that was such a good surprise. Let me show you what I got. First off, this shirt. This shirt, my friends. Like, I feel like my name should be Jimmy and I'm gonna work on your carburetor today. I just really like it. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna play around with colors and stuff and just play around with this. I really like it with the turtleneck. We're just seeing if it's a vibe, and right now I'm really liking it. This thrift store was so beautifully priced, my friends. I also found this little blouse, which is like sheer, and it looks a little grandma-y, but I'm wondering if I can pair it with something kind of cool. I don't know. We shall see. But I really like that it's very translucent flower lace. So got that. And then in the book section, I found quite a few really good books that looked interesting, but also not enough for me to be like, I would actually read that. Like, it sounds interesting, sounds fun, but I feel like they were books that would just sit on my TBR and I wouldn't actually want to get to them. But what I did find is this uncorrected proof copy of The Wolf in the Attic by Paul Kearney. So this is actually what the published cover looks like. And this sounds so interesting to me, especially because my partner and I just finished watching Sandman, or The Sandman. This takes place in 1920s Oxford, and it follows a young Greek refugee looking to escape the grim reality of her new life. She lives in a tall old house with her father and her doll. She is a refugee, a piece of flotsam washed up in England by the tides of the Great War and the chaos that trailed in its wake. Once upon a time, she had a mother and a brother, and they all lived together in the most beautiful city in the world, by the shores of Homer's wine-dark sea. But that is all gone now, and only to her doll does she ever speak of it because her father cannot bear to hear. She sits in the shadows of the tall house and watches the rain on the windows, creating worlds for herself to fill out the loneliness. The house becomes her own little kingdom, an island full of dreams and half-forgotten memories. And then one winter day, she finds an interloper in the topmost, dustiest attic of the house. A boy named Luca with yellow eyes who is as alone in the world as she is. That day she'll lose everything in her life and find the only real friend she may ever know. Based on the reviews I saw, it was described as like a fable or like a myth, which I'm super interested in. So there were not a whole lot of reviews on Goodreads, but definitely feels like a fairy tale, fable, myth kind of thing. So I'm very curious about it. Then I went to Goodwill and there were not a whole lot of books there, but what they did have was actually pretty good. So the first thing I found and decided to pick up was actually a copy of Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse. I already have a copy of Siddhartha, but I have not read it because it's in the annoying mass market paperback that if I open it, I feel like it's going to fall apart. So I thrifted this edition because it's so much taller. It's going to be way easier for me to read rather than a mass market, so got that. And then I also found a copy of Euphoria by Lily King. This sounds super fun, maybe like just a really good summer kind of romp. It follows three anthropologists in the 1930s, and they're caught in a passionate love triangle. And if I'm not mistaken, Lily King is the author of Writers and Lovers. And I kind of enjoyed that one. I listened to it as an audiobook, which I think I might have enjoyed it more if I read it, but this is in such
such good condition. There we have it, friends. That's my little thrift haul. And now I want to chat with you all, to wrap up this vlog, chat with you all about Hollow by B. Catling, because holy moly, I'm enjoying this so much. Last night I got to page 19, but I'm really enjoying this writing style. It takes place in 16th century Europe, and it's super fantastical but really dark. It opens up like with a murder, and there's this oracle, which is this like creepy little, they haven't really described it, but like a creepy little entity that has to like feed on bones that you have to tell like your sins to. You have to tell your sins to the bones, and then the bones are fed to the oracle. And these group of men are traveling with the oracle to this like mountain region. It's a super perilous journey, and it's just really good. It's really plotty, but it's also just like very dark and atmospheric, and I really like it. So when I was reading the author bio about B. Catling, it said he's a poet, sculptor, painter, and performance artist, and he's a professor emeritus at a school of art and also a emeritus fellow at University of Oxford. So I was like, who in the world is this guy? He sounds amazing, so cool. And I looked him up, and he actually just passed away this September. So B. Catling, rest in peace. Just found out he passed away less than a month ago. So it feels like a very oddly appropriate time to be reading Hollow, which hardly has any reviews or ratings on Goodreads at all. I'm really enjoying it so far. I really felt like while I was reading this, I was flying through it, so I hope I can carry that momentum with me for the rest of the book, but really liking this eeriness, this unsettling, ominous, dark, dirty world of the 16th century, and it takes place during like a really bad snowstorm, which is like atmosphere that I absolutely love. So I'm really, really happy to keep reading this, and I'm very excited to like curl up tonight and read it. So that is my update, my friends, and that's the end of this little vlog. I've had such a wonderful past few days. Like, this is like a weekend vlog. A lot of traveling, a lot of miles, a lot of really beautiful things, and so much nature. I'm so grateful that I got to spend so much of this like early autumnal season. You know, colors are changing. Like, being able to spend it outside has been so rejuvenating for me, and I feel really, really good. So if you made it to the end of this video, I don't have my copy of The Turn of the Screw with me, but let's definitely comment like a key emoji for that one. I always think of like turn of the key, turn of the screw, whatever. And then let's also do like a horse emoji and something a little autumnal. We love the autumnal emojis. We gotta take advantage of them while they're still here. But thank you so incredibly much for being here, my friends. I really, really hope you enjoyed this vlog, this video, and I can't wait to see you all again very soon until my next one. Stay cozy, my friends. Bye!